everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Fourtress of, a podcast about movies and TV shows and video games and lots of pop culture nerd things. My name is Oscar. I'll be one of your hosts today, and with me, per usual, we got the lone survivor,
The Lone
Brian, with
Ranger,
us today.
Texas Walker, Ranger, Texas. I don't know. It's me. I'm here. Hello.
So, Brian, with that, should we hop straight into to our first segment of the week?
I suppose. I suppose we could do
I
so.
guess. I mean, we have to. It's how the
Oh
show
yeah.
works.
All right, I
We
choice,
got
man.
to. All right, let's go.
News talk.
First piece of news, the main teaser. I don't know why they're calling it main teaser. And they're doing like mini teasers and all. Their format is weird, but whatever. You got the main teaser for the Lord of the Rings, the Rings of Power, Amazon's show. I will personally say, obviously, people, if they've listened, if this is not their first episode, they know that Lord of the Rings is like my favorite franchise of all time. And so I'm very excited for this show. It sucks that it's Amazon, but whatever. Yeah, it looks good. It looks epic in scale. It looks, for the most part, real, which is kind of nice.
Yeah. It seems like they're going pretty not CG with this. I guess they're going. It kind of gives me like Stranger Things vibes in the way this show feels. Not like obviously what the show's about, but just kind of like in the way that they're filming and editing and shooting. Kind of gave me that same
Yeah.
kind of vibe about it, which I love that about Stranger Things. A lot of things look very good in that show because they took a more practical approach to a lot of things
Yeah.
in that nature.
Well, Brian, you haven't finished Lord of the Rings, the
Right.
movie. You
I
haven't
have
watched all of them
the
yet.
least stake in Lord of the Rings in the fact that I watched the first movie about 2 years ago, and then I played
Right.
Two Towers, the video game, the PS2 video game, the beat 'em up. That game was dope, by the way. Don't know nothing about the characters. I have no idea who it was. I picked the wizard dude and I did what I did.
No, absolutely. But yeah, so we're on polar opposites as far as fandom when it comes to this
Right.
property.
I do think I want to watch the movies before I start watching the show because I'm sure we're gonna watch it and cover it. But also part of me is like, I wonder what it'd be like going in as a non-fan of something. I haven't done that in a long time. I kind of see what it'd feel like watching this from one of the perspectives that the show is going to shoot for, and that's for people that
Right.
aren't big Lord of the Rings fans, maybe not even ever watched the movies because they're pretty old at this point. A lot of the movies are almost 20 years old.
Yeah.
We've got people that are 20 wouldn't have seen this movie.
No, very true. Yeah. It'll be interesting to hear what you think about it. I definitely think like that's so far, a lot of stuff that's come out recently hasn't lived up to personal expectations. So I've already started to try to get rid of those in my brain. It's hard for this property, but it's just like one of those things. It's just like I know it's not gonna be the same. I'm definitely not expecting it to be the same. No matter how much money Amazon gave it, it's still a TV show. I don't care
Right.
if they're like it's $1 billion an episode or some
I
shit.
keep
It's like
forgetting that this is a TV show, and that's kind of fucking with me.
right.
Like, especially watching that teaser, I was like, oh man, this movie looks great. And then it was like, TV series coming 2023. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess.
And that's where I'm gonna be interested in how it all plays out. Because again, there'll probably be things where it's like that doesn't look practical or real and looks like a big. I don't know.
I
Yeah.
think that's where we have the same issue a lot of it because it gets to that point where it's like they pull money for certain scenes and stuff like that, so then they'll kind of skimp on other ones, and it's a very
Yeah.
TV show thing that I really
Mhm.
dislike. Where it's like, oh, well, we know we're not going to see the dragon in the next 3 episodes of this one because they're waiting to do it in episode 9. And it's like,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
stupid because a lot of times won't even make like story sense, but you just want to save money so much so you can have the big CGI reveal that it just like, okay, I mean, I guess.
Yeah. And that is another element that we were kind of talking about briefly before was this is going head to head with the Game of Thrones prequel. So 2 prequels are going head to head and it's just it's going to be interesting.
You
It's
said
going
that's
to
coming out end of August, and then this is coming out
th-
beginning of September. So they're literally going to be
yeah.
running concurrent with each other. I don't know how many episodes each of them are going to be, but
If it's anything like the past, I'm imagining Game of Thrones is 10 and this will be 8.
right.
That seems to be Amazon's way of going. So
That's a bold move. I wonder if they did it on purpose or if someone in the executive board right now was, shitting bricks. Like, please,
Eh,
can we
yeah.
change the time slot?
Right. No, I bet you it's on. They're trying to see who's got it better. They want to. Someone wants to win.
After what's happened with Game of Thrones, I don't know if you want to play that game anymore. That's a fire. I don't know if I want to touch.
Yeah, I mean, both shows do look great. I'm excited for both, but they're 2 very different types of fantasy. Lord of the Rings has always been the more
Very
like
high
the
fantasy.
good guys usually always win, and Game of Thrones is like no one wins. So luckily there is that difference. So they're not going to be the comparisons will obviously happen. We'll probably have a couple just because they are dragon-y fantasy type world. But other than that, what actually is in this trailer, I think the casting of Galadriel, your lead, the blonde, is fantastic. I've already locked into her as an actor. I think she
Oh
looks
yeah.
great. She sounds great. I think they nailed it. I'm not crazy about Elrond, which is the other guy she's talking to, who's like they're comparing like how much shit they've
Thank you for
seen.
explaining each of the characters to me because everything you're saying literally sounds like a different language. I mean, I guess technically it is,
Yeah,
but it's like, oh yeah, Elrond. Yeah, not a fan
that's
of
yeah.
which one was that again? Oh, okay, okay,
He's
there,
yeah,
okay, good.
yeah.
Yes,
I
thank you.
figured. Yeah, him. He seems fine, but it's hard to not beat, or it's hard to beat Hugo Weaving. Like
Yeah.
Hugo Weaving's fucking iconic in anything
He
he's
has
in. So
a bit of a generic look to him that's kind of making me
yeah,
nervous about it. Like one of those forgettable characters, but it seems like he's a pretty main character to the
he's a
plot.
pretty big deal. Yeah,
Yeah. So there were some character choices where I was like, I'm not gonna remember who that
yeah.
guy is.
And
So
that will be the balance because like Lord of the Rings, there are a lot of characters and names that are somewhat similar, and I
oh
imagine
no.
this is no different. So I think yeah, you being a subtitle person will definitely help
Yeah, I'm sure. I
watching the
struggled
show.
enough with Game of Thrones, so we're not letting that happen again. I'm gonna make sure that I
Yeah. But, yeah, I'm just super excited. You see the proto hobbits, which they're called the Harfoots in this, and so they are what eventually, like, evolve or become hobbits years and years later, so they're actually not hobbits existing in this world yet, but cool. They'll be on a hobbity adventure.
was about to say they were wobbling and warbling. So I was like, okay,
Yeah,
they
and
seem
then the
fun.
last element that I noticed in the trailer, that what a lot of people did, there's a character reveal of Isildur, which actually, Brian, you would know who this is, having seen at least Fellowship of the Ring. I guess spoilers for the Fellowship of the Ring, a 20-year-old movie.
I was like,
Isildur is the dude in the very beginning who has the chance to destroy the ring and doesn't.
mhm,
He's the man.
uh-huh. Yeah,
He's that guy, and he is in this trailer. He's gonna be in this show.
that's kind of cool.
So that's cool, and you'll get to see a lot of the lineage of that, I guess, line of people and Numenor and all these other fake words that you know nothing about. But yeah, I'm excited. I get again. We'll probably talk about it every time we talk about this show. Whenever we do it, there's gonna be some shitty people that are talking about the characters in this, and just fuck off. Go fuck
Some
yourself.
people
Get
are
over
of
it.
color. I have noticed. I know that the Tolkienites are racist,
Ugh.
for lack of a better word. I don't know what to
Just don't watch it. Just don't watch
say.
it.
When the Tolkien himself was very not racist, so I don't understand.
Right. And the biggest complaint about that I hate is that they're like Tolkien would hate this. It's like Tolkien never saw Lord of the Rings. Obviously, he was dead,
Right.
but his family don't like those movies. Like, there's a pretty big quote from his son or grandson or whatever, Christopher Tolkien, who's like, "Yeah, those movies are." I'm obviously paraphrasing. Yeah, those movies are rubbish. They're crap. They aren't good lore to the books. They're not. Yeah, it's like so like, and you love those movies, I bet. So shut up.
Right.
Shut up.
Right. He's like, he
Get
probably hates
over
y'all
yourself.
too. What do you mean? He hates the movies. He
Right.
hates you, idiot. Imagine Tolkien came out of his grave and just said, "Fuck you." Watch you cry, idiot. Grow up.
Yeah. I mean, it's so stupid, but that'll happen with everything,
Sure.
sadly, you know?
Adaptations and whatnot. That's how it goes.
And also, this is an adaptation based off of, like, 2 very small appendices at the end of Return of the King, basically. It's like, there's not much there, so just shut up.
All right, that's wild. I'm surprised it's taken them this long to even attempt something like this. Not
Yeah.
that now's best of time as any, but I'm just surprised that it took them 20 years to even try take a stab at at least another movie or something
Right.
like that.
I think it's a combination of, like, trying to live up to those original movies and also, like, I think the Tolkien estate is pretty protective of
Yeah.
the rights of a lot of this stuff. Like, even this show, they still don't have the rights to the Silmarillion, which is the big, boring lore dump, pretty dense in whatever book.
uh
Like that, they don't have the rights to that even in this show. So, like, I think they like to keep their shit close to the chest.
That's fair.
Yeah. But yeah, that's coming out, I think September 3rd, so
Yep.
fucking not far off.
It's pretty soon. We're gonna be watching.
Yeah. All right. Last piece of news. We're doing the reversal here. Whereas I had so much to say about this first piece of news, I have no idea what the second piece of news is about. So Brian, you go ahead and tell them
Oh god.
what.
So, and for some reason, I have a lot to say about Netflix, and we'll talk about it a little bit more later in the show. Netflix, known for currently being 70% down on their stock this year, which is amazingly awful for them, and they'll probably end up in a buyout, has been teasing that they're going to
Yeah.
be trying another stack out of an anime live action adaptation in Yu Yu Hakusho.
See now it feels like you're making up words.
Yu Yu Hakusho follows a schoolboy. He's about 14 at the beginning of the show, named Yusuke Urameshi. And Yusuke Urameshi is like a martial artist. He's like a teenager that's struggling with, school life, and then he gets killed in the very beginning of the show. Slight spoilers, I guess, for Yu Yu Hakusho, but
Yeah, we'll
this
put
happens like
spoilers
first
away.
episode. He actually gets hit by a car while attempting to save a kid's life. A kid was walking in front of a car.
God damn.
He got hit. After a number of tests, he basically gets revived and is given these powers around spirits, and that kind of follows him as he learns more about his powers, fights evildoers, things like that. It's a really good anime. It's a very 90s anime. But in anime that I would recommend, this would be one that's pretty like beloved in this time period around the Dragon Ball Z era. And that's one of the reasons why Netflix should definitely 100% not touch this, because holy fuck, people are going to be mad about it. We know that they just made Cowboy Bebop, and that got canceled after a season. And Cowboy Bebop is another beloved anime that's very good. And it's also probably one of the easiest anime to adapt to live action, because it's not super... It's not Dragon Ball Z where you can punch people across Africa. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to waste a whole lot of money, exactly, on CGI or something like that. They shouldn't do it.
I mean, they did cast an Asian lead, which is great.
Yes.
You'll learn something, Netflix. Good job.
Netflix is very weird with their casting, and sometimes they'll cast the most random people of color in the most random roles that don't make sense. But then when it actually calls for a person of color, they'll cast the whitest person you've ever seen before in your life. And I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Yeah, I mean, this is like what, like their third, fourth attempt at making a live action anime, because they did that Death Note,
the movie
or whatever.
That was really rough.
Cowboy Bebop. They're doing Avatar, which we already know, The Last Airbender.
And I mean, they've also tried to adapt other things that aren't like anime specifically, but like video games. Resident Evil just came out recently.
Right.
I'm going to definitely talk about that this episode.
Oh boy.
And it's just, I don't know. I mean, they still trying to do throw everything at a wall and sees what sticks, but it's like, you know what's not sticking right now. And you know that Cowboy Bebop didn't even do that poorly, honestly. A decent amount of people watched it, but they didn't think it was worth the second season.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I feel like if a show is middling, they're going to can it.
Right.
Even if it's not that bad, they're going to can it. And it's like, you're wasting so much money.
I think Cowboy Bebop is the more popular anime. I could be wrong, but I think more people probably have heard of it, at least. The YuYu Hakusho.
For me, out of those two, that was the one that I just knew from the name, having not ever seen it.
Yeah, unless money was already tied in at that point, I just don't see why they would even attempt it at that point. I'd be like, maybe we should try something more relevant. This isn't. They're not making new YuYu Hakusho right now. Like, it's not something that's still like being created. So
okay, so the original anime is
the anime's ended. It ended many years ago. So I don't.
Okay.
I don't get it.
That's interesting. Well, I guess maybe that means that they have an ending point at least. So if maybe they're like, we'll finish this in 4 seasons and be done.
Say, they're not going to reach it. They're going to do 1 season. They're going to can it. So I don't know why they even worried about whether or not an anime is ended.
I know, right? It's true. It's so true. Sadly, I don't know. It's just Netflix doing its Netflix thing.
I've kept Netflix as like my default like streaming service for, I guess, since its inception at this point. This is the first time I'm considering, like, I think I'm going to cancel Netflix. There's not much here for them anymore. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if I want to find movies that came out on actual TV, Hulu's better for that. If I want to find TV shows that are like pretty well, like outside of Stranger Things, I could probably do Amazon Video. Even Paramount's doing a little bit better. Everything seems to have a better spot.
It's pretty sad when people are thinking Paramount's better than you, Netflix.
Listen, man, they're trying to offer me a free month or like a free 3 months, whereas Netflix charges me like $16 a month for no fucking reason for me to get one mid-show a month. I don't know. And unless they change up the way that they start releasing content, they're in hot water.
Right.
Pretty bad.
Well, I'm looking at a picture of the character that they cast, and I didn't realize that they had gloriously beautiful purple hair. Does everyone have different colored hair in this anime, Brian?
It's anime, man. That's just how it goes, dude.
Yes.
There's no redheads and blonde people. Like, no, this dude has, green hair. Why does he have green hair?
Some girl has blue hair,
It's how you... I guess it'd be boring if all the characters had black hair, like they would actually probably have in Japan, black or brown.
Well, it'd be like Attack on Titan, where it took me like a season to realize who was who sometimes.
There's a lot of motherfuckers that look exactly the same.
They all have the same weird bowl cut.
Too, yeah. So that's
they
why
all have
do
Will's hair from Stranger Things.
Oh no, you're right though. That's the worst part. It's a popular haircut in Japan. I don't know what to say. They got it right.
All right, yeah, we'll see. That's coming down the line, so we'll see about that.
I'll watch it and I'll cry.
All right, that is the news, everyone. We've done it once again. All right, Brian, ready for our main topic?
I am, for sure.
Let's go. We're trapped in another fortress. Man, this fortress is bloody, is dirty, it's pretty horny. It's a lot of things.
Feels a lot like normal life, to be honest.
Yeah, because we're in the fortress of
the boys. It's your boy, the Deep. Fuck octopi. Damn, spoiler right from the beginning. Wild. What the fuck?
Yeah, listeners. So we're gonna be doing The Boys season 3, but also when we get to spoilers for all of The Boys, obviously. Well, I think we'll try to hold off from comic spoilers.
That's
There
fair.
might be a small section if it comes up, but for the most part, we'll try to keep away from that because the show is pretty different from the book as far as I'm concerned. I've heard. But again, be aware. Before we get into spoilers, though, overall, really quick shots of the show. I fucking love The Boys. I watched basically all 3 seasons this year. I hadn't watched it. I had to catch up, and I binged the first 2 in preparation for this 3rd season. And I'm still not The Boys out. You think I would be like burnt out on The Boys, but man, this 3rd season fucking got me again, dude. I loved all the characters introductions, the new characters. I love to hate Homelander. I will say that. I love to hate Homelander, dude.
It's you always know it's a good like rendition of the character. Like, there's a good acting going on when you hate this person. You know what I mean? Like, it's like if I saw him in real life, I'd probably still get like a little like I know it's not real, but I
It's
still
like the Joffrey syndrome.
yeah. Like one of the nicest people on earth probably in real life, but for some reason it's just
Right.
like, damn, you're doing a good job and it just makes me hate you so bad.
Yeah, he's fucking great. Give that dude an Emmy. He's amazing in this role. Like, holy shit. Yeah, and so I really loved where the story went. There are some elements where I'm like, it almost feels like we're back to square one by the end of this a bit, which is probably probably my biggest complaint. There's others some small minor ones, but that's probably my biggest overall complaint about the show is that I do kind of feel the need for them to move the story a bit more when
Hmm.
it comes to the Homelander character. Like, yeah, not that it feels samey because he does some crazier shit that we haven't seen before and yada
If
yada, but
anything,
it
it's
is like
worse than square one. We're square negative one now.
right, yeah. It's like they're going back. Yeah, they are going backwards. Other than that, though, man, like it's like the gross Game of Thrones, whereas like Game of Thrones is like the death shock value. But the boys is like, how gross can we make you? Like this show, you know?
Yeah, it definitely does that.
Yeah.
I'm on the same page as you. I love this show. I was a little rocky towards like the first 3 episodes because it was just kind of
Hmm.
like, okay, we know our shtick here and we know what kind of happens with shtick shows. We've watched Game of Thrones all the way through. It gets to a point where the shtick stops working, and then it's like, well, what do you have once that ends,
Right.
and will the show still be okay after that? So far, they're still doing a great job in what they do. It picked back up right after I said that, and I've been pulled in ever since. And yeah, I'm still super excited for more of this show. I agree with you
Yeah.
a lot in the same space that I just think that it didn't do anything. It almost felt like a DLC or like a side quest, and that like, yeah, we did all this stuff, but it did actually affect the main story because we're still back where we were, no matter what. The same amount of
Right.
characters and everything, maybe less characters, but no, I mean, I'm loving this, and I'm can't wait to see how it unfolds. The only thing that I kind of nitpick on would probably be the such closeness to real life. It feels a little South Parky to me,
Mm.
and that they're trying to satire real life. So I guess it's probably the main difference from the comic. We'll talk more about that.
Yeah.
I don't know that I need that in my shows right now, especially just because the way the world has been in the past few years.
Right.
And they're going heavy on that kind of space, and we're trying to be satirical towards like it's not SNL. I don't really need my news, my news from the boys.
Yeah. I see your point, but I'm in both minds of it where it's like, yeah, I don't need to see the real world in this superhero show. But at the same time, I kind of dig it because I think they do, for the most part, specifically with Homelander's character, I think they do a pretty good job of it.
Sure, not that they do bad by any means.
No, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. It's like I think it's always been a show that was kind of like, and that's how I spun it to you when we were first talking about it. I was like, yeah, this is the show that's like, this is what superheroes would probably really be like in the real world if we had them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe not as over the top, but still. And I thought they were doing a good
Yes.
job of that. And then they just started going like straight, like we're taking directly from history to make fun of it.
Right.
A la Atlanta a little bit. Honestly, if you watched Atlanta, you probably feel a lot of the same spaces about that, where it's like a lot of time they talk about
Okay.
current events, but that makes that makes more sense in that kind of show
Right,
than
right,
in a
right.
superhero show based on a comic.
Based on a fake world. Yeah. That's interesting. But yeah, so like I still say, yeah, love it. Can't wait for season 4. We'll talk more about what the future holds for this show and future spin-offs and yada towards the end of
Amazon's
the
got gold on their hands. I hope they don't fumble it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully not. Don't pull a Netflix.
Oh no.
All right. So listeners, spoilers from this point on for The Boys season 3 and all of The Boys season 1 and 2. Check all the time codes and whatnot if you for spoilers and everything, maybe some comic book stuff, but we'll see.
Also, potential trigger warning for things of the subject like suicide, and so just check the time codes for all that. Yeah, just want to let you know.
All right, let's start. Let's hit the big guy, I guess. Let's talk about Homelander whole
The
story throughout the
story of
season.
Homelander and his struggles with mothers,
His daddy
and
issues.
daddies, and God, man, this is the season that feels the most like he got like character development, and the fact that I almost feel sorry for him for the first time.
Yeah.
I've wanted Homelander to fucking eat shit since I've seen this man, but this season there was definitely at least a point towards like halfway through. I'm like, this man, there's no way he could be fine, personality wise. Of course, he's a personality disorder. The man's life is
Yeah.
fucked.
He's got mom and daddy issues.
dude's
Like
life
fucking Christ,
sucks.
dude. It's awful. Like I mean, I guess like look, let's talk about his mommy issues with a sense. He fucked his surrogate mother in season 1. Then he killed her. And then season 2, which this is going to a theory which we don't know, but I honestly think you brought it up and it sounds like gold. And I think they should do it because that will further fuck with Homelander's mommy issues in the sense that there's a line where Soldier Boy talks about how he fucked what was her name back then?
Liberty.
Liberty, which we all know became Stormfront. And so there's the theory that she is Homelander's mom.
I mean, let's give him the big reveal. I mean, of course they've hopefully seen the show, our audience, but if not,
Right. I don't know why you're listening to this, but yeah.
Soldier Boy is Homelander's father. We find out,
Right.
And when I heard that, I took some time and I was just sitting with the show thinking about it, and I was like, he had a line that the only person that noticed in the show was Huey and said something about it, where he was like, "Yeah, I used to bone this girl Liberty," and I was like, so at best, you and your father fuck the same person,
the same woman, yeah.
and that's pretty weird. But at worst,
that was at best. Yeah, this is at worst.
You Marty McFly and fucked your mom. Oh no! And I thought that was gonna be the big reveal for the end of the show.
You would think that the worst thing about fucking Stormfront is that she's a Nazi.
Not only is she a Nazi, she is also your mother. And part of my thought process around that was the fact that they were that was that throwaway line, and then also like I guess a lot of this is hereditary when it comes to powers. Once you get your powers, that you can pass them down. I'm still not 100% sure. They talk about test tubes and stuff like that.
It's still very unclear.
Yeah, but it's like Stormfront's the only one I know that can fly.
Right. That's a good point. That's a very good point.
That's a little weird. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know. I think I think it totally could line up, and given like his parental issues already, that adding on to it will destroy that.
And then giving the show and how awful this show is, how any of the worst thing you think of is always going to be what happens.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's going to be his mom.
That's absolutely, yeah. Like, fuck, oh, God. And I can't wait to see his face when that happens. Fuck him.
Might be okay with it. I don't know. He likes to fuck his mom.
That's a good point. Oh, no. I mean, they were all about that master race, Stormfront, so she probably would be okay with it.
That's another point. That, of course, she already knew and still did it because she was like, hell yeah, we're going to keep that bloodline strong. She's a Targaryen, no.
Oh, no. Yeah, so Soldier Boy's his dad, which this whole season, if Homelander's past has been about his mommy issues, this season was about his daddy issues and being a dad himself with issues.
Yeah.
Because like you were saying, like sympathizing with him or empathizing with him a bit. He has a good line when he talks to Ryan in the finale about how, people make mistakes and it's okay. And I was like, damn, what the fuck?
Uncharacteristically profound for him to say.
Yeah.
But I mean, it also makes sense because he's gone through it in real life where he's like, yeah, no, I fucked up and it's had a lot of ramifications from it, but like I have to forgive myself, or how do I keep going? How do you keep going forward if you always have all this guilt around you? That would have been a much better line to use if he had actually did something to do better.
Right. Right.
He continues to go and do even worse after he says that line. Which that kind of sucks.
Which that is just like everyone in this show. Every super in this show, they're like, yeah, I'm gonna try to do better, and then they just do the worst possible shit. But yeah, like so, like there's that moment, and then the second moment where because I watched the finale twice, and so the second time I watched, I realized the moment Soldier Boy hits Ryan, everyone's there. Homelander is the only one and the first one to actively go and check on him, and Butcher is standing right there. I'm like, Butcher, you're a bad dad.
Butcher was already there. And that is your child in your mind, you claim.
Right.
You want him to be on your side so badly.
Butcher.
And then you don't even check on the motherfucker after he just gets punched in his shit. Yeah.
A lot of this season is all Butcher's fault.
Yes. And we'll probably get into that after we talk about Homelander. Butcher seems like a
Yeah.
nice place to go second because it talks about
Yes.
a weird dichotomy of father. When it comes to you have someone that's a bad person that's been doing some decent things for his kid. And then you have another surrogate child, and Huey for Billy, or brother, I guess would be the better way to
Yeah.
put it. And he doesn't treat him so good to love him as much as he probably does because he just doesn't know how to show it.
Yeah.
And that's really interesting to watch how the worst person on earth can somehow treat someone younger than them better than a guy that thinks he's doing the right thing.
Right.
How do you feel so
Yeah.
poorly at that part?
I don't know. We'll talk about Butcher, but yeah, okay. So Homelander's whole shtick is, at least in the first half of the season, they get rid of Gus. What's his name? I don't remember what his show in this name in this
I
show
can't.
is.
I don't. Giancarlo Esposito. That's all I know.
Yeah.
I can't tell you what his name
his
is. This
damn
show.
name?
He is the big CEO person of what?
Stan.
Dan. I would have never guessed that.
I'm pretty sure it's Stan. So yeah. So Homelander gets rid of him with the help of Eye Popper or Head Popper Girl.
Oh yeah, that was the big reveal in the season. In the season 2 was Homegirl was Eye Popper.
Yeah.
Head Popper, I guess.
Head Popper. Yeah. And so Homelander becomes basically the head of Vought and gets to decide for himself. And I think that's probably been my favorite stuff with Homelander is he doesn't know what the fuck he is doing.
Because he's never had to. He's never had to do anything. He just does things. The boy just lives, and then everyone else fixes it. And now it kind of sucks because now when he does things, there's no one to fix it.
No. And like there's a couple scenes with like him and Ashley where they're like, yeah, we gotta worry about these stocks, and you go to these meetings, and Homelander's like, he just gotta look on his face like, I don't know what the hell, what? I don't know what the fuck to do. I've never had to do any of this shit. Sit in meetings and talk about like stocks and crap. It's like you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah, it turns out the higher position you have, the more paperwork you got to do. That's why most people don't want to get promoted into things like the military. If you like you're having boots on the ground, you don't want to get you don't want to be a higher rank. That's what's happening right here.
Not only has he had to do that, same thing whenever it comes to Homelander fighting, he gets his ass beat every time because he's never had to fight.
He's never had anybody on his level.
So easy. Yeah, he's never had to fight, which is why everyone can kick his ass. It's just so funny to see him struggling with realizing what he's done. Like, and the whole thing when Soldier Boy's in the world and everyone's like, oh shit, he is terrified, dude. He is so scared of Soldier Boy coming to kill him because he realizes, oh, I can actually die. This person can kill me.
That's a man that's seen some shit.
Yeah.
He fought in the wars. Like,
at least as far as everyone's concerned. We learned that Soldier Boy actually didn't do shit, but as far as the world knows, he saw some shit.
Right.
Let's just talk about the people he's killed. Like his whole storyline with Starlight, when he makes the world think that they're together because he's a giant prick.
Let's talk about how much they force some fucking politics in this show. I'm gonna be, God damn it, I don't want no goddamn politics in my show. Homeboy they're playing with the alt-right. They're playing with Donald Trump, ex-president, ex-45th president of the United States. And that they're making this dude be hella goofy, hella stupid, and hella loud. And people love it. People love the loudest talker in the room, whether they sound smart or not. And that's what's happening in this show. And part of that is that weird forced relationship between him and Starlight that they have.
It's pretty fucking on the nose. If you don't see it, you might be part of the problem. I don't know.
Listen, Melania was holding Donald Trump's hand the same way that Starlight was holding Homelander. Listen, girl, if you're in trouble, blink twice, please.
Right. Yeah, it's all there. Even to the ending, the sort before the credits roll, Homelander ending, which I'm jumping ahead, but I'm pretty sure Donald Trump's even there's been quoted him saying I'm pretty sure if I could go out there shoot someone and no one would do it, I wouldn't go to jail. No one would do anything. And that's one theory going into season 4. I don't think anyone's going to do anything about Homelander murdering someone in cold blood, dude.
In front of everybody. They cheered for it.
What the fuck? Yeah, so it's it makes total sense.
And that's the thing where it's and maybe that's a part of me and the feelings that I feel towards just what's happening in real life that's kind of making me I get jokes. I like jokes. I like comedians. And joking about serious shit is one way to cope with things. I feel like the writers of this show probably don't understand the dangers of some of those things that are happening as well as dudes, because they're probably just a bunch of white dudes. I can't say that for sure, but I just assume. So I could be 100% wrong. Don't you want to fact check me, whatever. Yeah, I mean, what we're going through this currently right now, where we're still having trials about like the insurrection that happened on January 6th, and it's like y'all are playing with fire right now by playing with this because this is currently still happening right now. This isn't something that's like, oh, we can laugh about it now because it's
Right.
over, and it's like, no,
This is
it's
an Amazon show, for Christ.
right,
No.
right. It's an Amazon show, and I have no problem with like getting into that deep heavy shit or whatever, but it's like this is literally still happening right now to this day. Those
Yeah,
trials are still going on this fucking week, like.
it's pretty close.
That's a little too close to home for me sometimes because it could only get potentially more dangerous.
That's fair. That's fair.
They did something similar in randomly Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, where they talked
Oh,
about not so much politics or stuff like that, but they talked about something that was pretty close, something that was happening now, and that they were making fun of a plastic surgeon that was known in like the famous community. He used to do a lot of plastic surgery for celebrities and stuff like that, and they made fun of him. And he's he was still alive. He was only like 40s, 50s, something like that when they did this. Then the man killed himself.
Jesus Christ.
Man committed suicide because they were making fun of
Ooh.
someone that's still, and that's kind of one of those
Okay.
things where like media does have an effect on others, where it's
Mhm.
like, the analogy is not perfect, of course, but it's just one of those things where it's like, if you get too much into the weeds of stuff that is currently happening, it can actually influence those things, and that just kind of
Yeah,
makes me a little nervous on where they might try to go with that.
that's fair. That's fair enough.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, because that is not the only political element in this whole show.
Oh,
Like,
not at all. Some of
no.
it's fucking hilarious. A lot of it's fucking hilarious. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
They do a
Yeah.
good job. They do a very. That's why I compare it to South Park. South Park does a very good job at satire of the world we're going through now.
Right.
Even though it's not my favorite show on earth by any means, but this definitely kind of hits
Mhm.
that same head of like, oh damn, they're playing with fire here.
Yeah. It's just gonna keep going. Like, I think they've established at this point that this is the show.
Absolutely, we've hit racism in the show too. Like we're going there. We're hitting
Yeah.
there.
Couple other pieces of Homelander stuff. I forgot because it's a pretty big moment. Well, for one thing, he makes Stormfront jerk him off while she's burnt to a crisp and like paralyzed, and it's the weirdest fucking scene in the world.
Do you think
Uh,
she would have been able to heal herself at some point? Like she was
I
crispy for a
don't
long time.
know,
I was like, maybe it was just too far gone where she couldn't.
because that's is one thing is that like
She didn't
these
get better.
powers are still not fully fully like explained, and I know that like they're definitely not like Superman. Like Homelander is nowhere near Superman level.
Yeah, for sure.
But he's obviously still the strongest. But yeah, it's still not sure because like even like later when Maeve sticks that pipe of straw in his ear, so clearly something he's pierceable somehow. I don't know if maybe because it's just because Maeve is super strong as well that
That's
she
what I
was able
assumed.
to.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's still unclear of what is their vulnerability.
That shit probably touched his brain. Is he okay? Or is he currently free bleeding right now, having an
He
aneurysm?
might be. Could you imagine? That's how he dies.
He just had an aneurysm
Like
for
he
6
dies
months
like
and he didn't
months
know.
later. He just falls over and keels over.
Yeah, bro, you probably should have gotten that checked out. I don't know, man. It turns out that
Even if
kills
he could, they can't operate on him.
right,
He
'cause they
just
can't
had to
cut
wait to
anything.
die.
Damn, that's so sad.
Oh man. But I did want to talk about his birthday, his quote unquote birthday, because obviously it's not his birthday. And his birthday save, where he's on the roof, he's gonna rescue someone like he normally would, and then he sees that Stormfront has taken her own life. I would imagine she did that because she hates her life right now,
I mean, it's
jerking
just
off
burnt
of
to
dude.
a crisp and
Right. Because that was still something that was kind of unclear. Because you see her roll a tear,
mm,
and later, but I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So I guess that was I was kind of bummed because I really liked Aya Cash
yeah.
as that character.
I was hoping she was
I
gonna
thought she
come
was
back
really fun.
for at some kind of like sort of capacity. That's why I was wondering
Yeah.
about the healing thing, and then she's like, no,
Right.
she's not gonna get better. Instead, she's gonna
Yeah.
kill herself by biting her tongue off.
Quite a bummer.
She was like, I gotta do this for character development. And she bites her tongue, and I was like, okay. I mean, that's fine.
Yeah. But the more important other thing that happens is he just tells that girl to jump, dude. He says, "Fuck it." He like, "I'm not saving you," and that's a very important thing. I kind of told you about this as well before. There's a pretty big Superman story where he does the same thing. Obviously, he saves the person, um, but it goes to that. It's to that idea that he doesn't have to rely on his powers for all of these things. Like this is a thing where he just had to rely on him being a good human being to
Right.
help this person off the ledge, basically. And this is a nice twist on that, where Homelander's like, "I'm gonna blow your brain up with the with my eye lasers, or you're gonna jump." And man, that was rough.
Yeah, he's a bad person.
He's a bad human being.
It's hard to care about people when you think you're better than others, I suppose. The empathy is just
Yeah,
not there.
I mean that he kills Starlight's homeboy. like in the most grotesque
Oh
way,
God, I
supersonic.
can't even remember his name yet because he died the way he did. They fucked that man up. She was like, "We need you. Come on, man, just join our team. We're gonna take down Homelander." And then he gets roasted.
Yeah, never seen again.
Never
Ugh,
seen again, dude.
that was brutal.
Another person of color. That kind of sad. Okay,
Yep,
that's
he's
fine.
dead. A Train's a fucking rat. Fuck him.
Oh
We'll
God.
talk about A Train later.
Yeah, Train, I call that man a super coon when normal coonery is not enough.
Oh no. Oh no. But yeah, I guess like that's most of Homelander stuff except for let's talk about him getting Ryan. So now he gets his ass beat by Soldier Boy. He survives. There's a big fight. We'll probably break down a little bit. But ultimately, he was the better dad than Butcher. He got Ryan on his side, which is terrible because Ryan is now like baby Hitler. And he's got to go. He's gotta go.
It turns out when you're 7, it only takes one little nice conversation from dad to completely turn around any opinion you ever had about him. Like, he told me some sweet nothings, and now that's my dude. I love dad.
Yep.
And it's like,
Yep.
in pacing, it felt weird, but in real life, that 100% would work. Like, yeah, kids are
Yeah.
stupid. They don't know any better.
Yeah.
Just say nice things.
Yeah, I believe that fully. And also, he is a better dad. He taught Ryan to fly in like 2 days. That kid can fly now. Like, what? So clearly he's a better dad.
Right, the dude's better he's a better teacher, that's for sure. Billy Butcher has definitely not been a good teacher to anybody.
No.
No, I mean, I think in just the fact that Ryan's the first time he's ever truly cared about something, I believe. He'll say
Yeah.
he cared about his mom, I suppose. Maybe that's true as well, surrogate mom. Maybe even
Maybe.
Stormfront. But Ryan's the first time that feels like the most like, this is what it's like to care about a human's life. Like, I will do
Right.
anything to make sure this child survives, which is
Yeah.
not normal for Homelander by any stretch of the imagination that we've seen so far. This man does not care about
No,
shit.
not at all.
So that's been kind of nice that he now has something that he's focused on.
Right.
Unfortunately, he's doing it incorrectly.
Ultimately, I think Homelander's going to die at some point. He has to. I think there is a possibility that Ryan's the one to do it.
Ah,
If it is a thing that maybe like, because Homelander's stronger than Soldier Boy. He's his son. Is Ryan stronger than Homelander now? Is that how that works?
You think
Maybe.
you think they're doing a Dragon Ball Z there? Okay, I got you.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe. So maybe the key is it's going to be Ryan that has to take down Homelander. I don't know. I don't see any other option.
Right, but who's going to influence him to get him to that point?
Right.
Be the thing. Huey. It's going to be Huey.
Yeah, probably.
Huey's the only one that
Starlight,
can
maybe.
talk some fucking sense. Yeah, I guess Starlight too, but Starlight's lame. He doesn't want to listen to Starlight.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. Starlight and MM are MVPs as far as
I was going to say
he's
Mother's
in
Milk
the-
is going to be the one, honestly. He's the best with
Yeah.
talking to children, I feel like.
Huey was fucking up too much this season,
Yes, he has some inferiority complexes, but look at the way he looks. Of course he does.
man. All right. So let's get to Butcher a bit.
Butcher.
Man, I'm so conflicted
Butcher's story
with him.
is almost the opposite of Homelander's in the fact that I don't feel like he grew even a little bit.
At the moment that he fucked Maeve, I was like, I thought you were so sad about your wife and you blah 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 blah.
Listen,
It's been like a week since she's died and you fucked Maeve and you tell Ryan to piss off. Butcher, fuck off.
we do all handle trauma differently. Sometimes that
It's
does
true.
mean making
It's true.
horrid mistakes with random superheroes. If you got it like that, more power to you, bro. I don't think I could pull a superhero.
I'm assuming he was super when they had sex, right?
I would
can't
assume
remember.
so. He probably would have died.
He probably would have died.
She would have smashed him against that wall, and he would have splatted, and that would have been the end of that. No fun for anybody.
Because we've seen a lot of people die via sex in this season,
Yes.
particularly.
Yes. So I think I agree with that. I wonder how that works. Never mind. That's getting too deep into the weeds. That's too deep into the weeds. Never mind.
That's a different podcast.
Do things work differently when you're super? I don't know. It doesn't matter.
I don't know. I think a dude super would kill a person, a non-super person, no matter what.
Oh yeah.
When they finished.
Oh, you think it's gonna be a Spider-Man situation? Shit's
I
radioactive.
think they'd kill. No, I think it's just the speed.
It just blows up.
It'd be like bullets.
Oh,
They would die.
Oh no, I hate it.
We might cut this. Who knows?
We're keeping it in, boys. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy the Butcher is a piece of shit. And he continues to be a piece of shit, even when he's met with basically the end of his life, or what he perceives
Right.
to be so. He wakes up and still continues to be the biggest piece of shit. This dude
Yeah.
sucks.
Because at the end, he's got like a year basically to live, which
Yes.
puts a pretty big timeline on this show. I would
I'm about
imagine.
to say, between season 2 and now is a year. So
Right.
another 12 months is not very long. 12 to 18 months, they said.
Yeah.
Because he's been abusing temporary V to get
Yeah.
superpowers throughout this show. The thing that he hates
He's
the
the
most,
biggest hypocrite
right,
in the world.
he decided to become, which I get it. I get
I do too. Yes.
any means necessary. I completely understand. Any means necessary to get these people off the face of the earth. but I also think that he fucking likes it.
Yeah.
It turns out being better than other people is pretty fucking cool. Who would have
Yeah.
thought?
MM
Uh,
being mad is totally justified. He's like,
absolutely.
the whole point of this is to get rid of the soups, and you're becoming a soup. What are you
Right.
doing? Like,
Right.
but at the same time, I get it.
How else are you gonna beat him?
How else are you gonna beat Homelander? You know? Yeah.
It turns out guns aren't good enough. Like what the fuck?
Right. It's like quick tangent. MM showing up with a shotgun at that finale fight. I'm like, you need to leave.
You might as well have brought a
There are
box of
like 8
tissues.
supers in here. You need to go.
You were balling up pieces of paper and going like,
Yeah.
take that. Like
You need to leave
all you did
now.
was waste money and ammunition. Good job, Frank.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean Butcher kills what's his name? Soldier Boy's little homie.
I can't remember.
I
He
don't
was so
remember.
useless to me.
Gunpowder.
Gunman, Cole Cassidy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He kills him, and basically they're on the journey with Homelander or with Soldier Boy to get rid of his old team Payback. I do say one thing I liked about Butcher's story. I kind of liked his mind battle. His
Mhm.
mind like flashbacks. I thought that was good character development to show. Yeah, all of these characters had bad parents.
Right.
They had bad dads.
This show is
the
just a
through
big
line of this
show
season.
about how everybody needs therapy because the raising children fucking sucks. And it's a cycle.
Basically.
As we can see, it's a cycle of abuse that keeps happening.
Yeah.
But that was kind of one of, I guess, the most, and it's rightfully disappointing. Like this isn't a fault of the writing. I think it's the strength of the writing.
No.
The fact that he went through that shit where he got mind seduced by whatever fucking guy.
Brainstorm, I think, or something.
Brainstorm. Isn't that a Marvel character or DC character?
I don't know.
He had a little toy. Anyway, yeah, when that happened, and he went back and you learned about like how awful of a childhood that he had. It was him and his brother basically taking care of each other because that's all they had. Because mom wasn't really trying to deal with it, and his dad was super abusive. He used to beat the shit out of them. There was all that kind of situation going on. So Billy's always had to be the strong one. You know what I mean? He's never allowed to show his feelings, things of that nature. Very like that's a thing that happens in a lot of households in real life. So that's definitely a very can definitely commiserate with those kind of things.
Yeah.
The part that makes it so sad was the fact that he was like, I'm getting out of this situation. Another thing that happens pretty often where, the older son or daughter will leave pretty early in the household, be like, listen, I know I can't protect you anymore and that sucks, but I won't survive if I don't leave. So they leave and then they regret it because the child has to deal with the brunt of your decisions.
Right.
It shouldn't be your responsibility because you're a child. Whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, you can tell why he holds a lot of resentment is because he feels like he never actually he thinks he's a piece of shit and he becomes a piece of shit out of a defense mechanism, basically.
Right. Because he feels the guilt.
Exactly. It's that almost survivor's guilt, even, you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And even so, where like he now sees Huey as his little brother,
Mhm.
which is probably why he loves him and also hates him at the same time. Because man, does he treat Huey like shit?
Some shit, dude. But that's what's kind of upsetting about what happens in that story is like even after he goes through that retelling of his own story, which you would think would be like in any normal tropey story would be like, oh well, now I'm gonna turn over a new leaf because I've been faced with death. Blah 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 blah. Nah, Billy's
don't learn
like,
shit.
I'm still gonna be a piece of shit directly after this.
Right. Like 2 seconds later.
But that's one of the parts about this show that's so close to real life is that you don't heal from trauma in one day. It is definitely it's practice and it takes a long time and a lot of dealing with stuff in your mind. And one situation is not going to be enough to change you as a human being. That showed it, and he's still a dick.
He's still an asshole. Although he did save Huey in the finale by knocking him out and putting him in a closet.
Right.
He's still an asshole.
One of those TV show things where it's like, bro, you didn't have to clock me in my fucking head. You just could have told me something. Just could have. And it's like, yeah, Huey would
use
listen.
your words.
But also Huey's like, I don't know, 5'11", 37 pounds. Like, just fucking shake him a little bit and he'll not do it.
Right.
Guy's kind of a pushover. Just use your words, bro. That's all you got to do.
Yeah. I mean, I still like seeing Butcher, but the boys are all right. Even like Frenchie at the end is sick of his shit, and he's like, "Fuck you, Butcher. We're getting paid vacations. We got a dental plan. This is a democracy now. You're not bossing us around." Like, and he's right. He's totally right.
I mean, that's the love of the show right now. It's two sides of the same coin. It's like you're becoming the person that you are trying so hard to get rid of. Like you are the same person. You treat us just as poorly as Homelander treats his lackeys.
Right.
There's a definitely a parallel there.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, his brain is Swiss cheese. His brain is mush, dude. It was coming out of his ears as black goo, bro.
Yeah, but once again, it's one of those things where he just cares so little about himself, and he thinks he deserves it, so he's just letting himself rot. which
Yeah.
really helps nobody. But that's how
Right,
you want to go
right.
out and go for it, man.
I did like their him in the part of the first Herogasm fight, him, Soldier Boy, and Homelander. Which when that happened, where it turned into, it was started out as a Homelander versus Soldier Boy fight, then it was a Soldier Boy Butcher versus Homelander fight, and then it was Huey Butcher and Soldier Boy versus Homelander fight. That was amazing, I will say.
That was one of the best scenes in the show so far, I feel like.
Yeah. I was like, was that the first superhero fight in this show? And it's in season 3. I forgot about the ending where the girls just they curb stomp Stormfront, which is great to see. But other than that, I was like, this is like the first like legit fight we've gotten, and it's in season 3 of this show, which is amazing.
Right. Because it's been so used to having like such a power disparity in this
Yeah.
show. So it's the first time we actually got leveled by somebody.
Yeah. It was nice to see Homelander get his teeth kicked in a bit. That was great. It was great to watch. I could do it all
I
day.
love seeing this man get his ass beat. It's very Dragon Ball Z Frieza energy, where it's like you're just too used to being so strong that you never had to train, and now it's like, damn, I need to get my ass in the gym, bro. Holy shit, beat my ass right.
It's true, man. Like Butcher can beat the shit out of Homelander because Butcher's probably been in more fights than Homelander.
Right. Who would have thought that experience actually helps a whole lot? Yeah.
Right. But that's pretty much all of Butcher. The one thing that's being, yeah, he's a bad dad. He fucked with Ryan, and he's the reason why Ryan chose Homelander over him.
Right. Because he's getting to that point where he's thinking too much about his objective that he's not taking others into account. And now
Right.
that includes Ryan, where it's like he's just trying to use Ryan to get to his, his end plot goal. And it's like, that's not, bro, he's a child. Help your kid. Like,
Right. Talk to the kid. This so-called promise you made. You've been acting like a total asshole. And then at the last minute in the finale, he's like, not the kid. It's like, but oh, God, you're so annoying, Butcher.
and that's literally how Soldier Boy handled it. He's like, are you fucking kidding me? At
Right,
what
he's
point
like,
does this matter ever? And now you want to fucking start making demands?
Right. Do you have anything else to say about Butcher? I mean, at the end, it looks like they're going after a head popper, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah, no, that's all I got.
Let's move on to Soldier Boy, the Homelander, I guess, .05 Homelander.
The dude from goddamn Supernatural. That's so weird.
It's fucking good, dude.
He does a great
He's
job, and it's so
great.
weird. I've never seen Supernatural, but I don't expect it to be this kind of show. So
Me either, yeah.
I didn't know that he had those kind of acting chops. So
He's got a great look. He got the voice. He got a good voice going for it. I like the suit, the shield stuff. Obviously, it's like a fun. What would Captain America in our world actually be like? Yeah, he'd be a big bigot.
yes, if he actually fought in World War II or shit like that, he would probably be a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
No, I fucking loved his character in this, and I will say when they make that choice in the finale to take that Soldier Boy instead of Homelander, I'm like, is he worse than Homelander though? I'll be like, I think you should let him kill Homelander first. I'm just saying.
The only thing is the fact that he's more unpredictable.
Right.
That is the only thing that makes him slightly more dangerous, is the fact that he can just go off at any point, whereas Homelander is dangerous, but he's stupid enough that you can kind of tell what he's doing next.
But he's an attention whore, so he'll still try to do anything for people's approval.
Right. So that was kind of the only thing that I was like, okay, I hate it, but I guess I get it. But yeah, I'm on your side. Fucking let Soldier Boy kill him.
Kill him. Please, fuck it. Objective complete. Come on. That moment at the end of that fight when they're all standing there and they just let Homelander leave with Ryan. I'm like, why? You still like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? Whatever, it don't matter.
No, you're absolutely right. It's stupid. It makes no sense. No, my favorite thing about Soldier Boy was when he first kind of came out of the vault or whatever, because he was being held by Russians, commies of some sort, in this weird vault keeping him asleep. Basically, he came out and just seeing 2022, this pride flies around, black people are running free, and he's just like, what the fuck is happening in this world?
Yeah, he sees a gay couple. He's so baffled.
What is this nonsense? And then he finally breaks, and that's when he kind of gets his character arc. When he finally breaks, when he hears Russian music and a Russian man dancing around, because it's New York City, of course, probably the melting pot of the world. And that happens. He just loses it, and he just bursts and blows up half of a city block of New York City. And then that's where it gets kind of interesting, where it's like, oh, this man is unhinged. Oh, no.
Right. He's got PTSD.
He's got PTSD real bad, and he self-medicates it because they did not have medication that helped that back in the day.
Right. And he was being tortured by Russians, and so it makes sense. But like, he has some of the, because he's so out of time and a crazy person, he's got some of the best lines. One of them being like, depending on your humor, people might not have liked this joke, but I thought it was fucking hilarious. And Huey's reaction is perfect when he talks about Bill Cosby. And he's like, Bill Cosby, yeah, he's America's dad. He's like, makes some pretty strong drinks though. And Huey's face is like, wow. Oh no.
It's like
Oh
you
no.
don't know, friend. You're not aware of what has happened. Yeah, it's those kind of. That's what. It's so South Park. Like, that's just South Park.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah.
That's such a South Park ass joke.
That shit worked for me though, man. Oh my
No,
god.
it was it. Some of those things hit me because yeah, he was just so non-politically correct and just so
He didn't give a
abrasive
shit
in
though.
everything he
Yeah.
said. Every single sentence that came out of that man's mouth was the most abrasive shit you've ever heard. And it was just like, damn. But like that's the thing. It's like we have the Chris Evans version of like Captain America where it's like, oh well, I just believe in justice, and it's like the chances of that happening from someone living that long is just
Right.
not
Yeah. It's the
normal.
Superman thing. Like they had to have been like the best person in the world, you
Right.
know? Because if not, they turn out to be Soldier Boy or Homelander.
Exactly.
Just a giant asshole with power.
Right. And that's the thing. Ignorance kind of runs a little bit harder when you have nothing to kind of change your ignorance. Like he has no fear of dying. He has no fear. Like you can see other cultures and stuff, but it's like, no, I'm still the best. I'm Soldier Boy. I don't give a fuck about people. Like it's one of those things where just the superiority complex just is so much stronger when you actually are arguably superior. Like
Yeah. Yeah. I did like the element of his powers. They didn't even need him to kill Homelander. He just needed to set off his nuclear power because
mhm.
then they learn that it burns all of the compound V out of their system. So at that point, you could just kill Homelander like a normal person, you know? So I like the idea that like they just need to get him close enough to him
to use
to set
his
him
atom
off.
bomb.
Yeah. It was an interesting element and them having to like side with him and deal with him throughout this whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, Soldier Boy has a little bit of a character arc of his own where he's trying to, like you said, find his place in the world and in this new world he's never seen before. Understanding his trauma that he's gone through because he, once again, is someone that also had daddy issues. Another theme of this show.
Yep.
The creator of the show must have had daddy issues of
They
his
got a
own,
lot of
I
daddy
assume, because there's
issues.
a lot of daddy issues in the show. Yeah, his dad was always talking about how he was a piece of shit and couldn't do anything and always fucking sucked. And then he went and he took the V and was like, Dad, I'm better now. And he was like, "No, you're a shortcut piece of shit, pussy." It's like, oh,
And then,
you can't win.
like Butcher and Homeland don't learn shit.
He did not
He
get
does
better.
the same
He does the
fucking
same
thing
shit.
to Homelander.
He looks at Homelander after he finds out he's his son, and he's just like, "You're a fucking disappointment." He also calls him some kind of weird pussy or something like that.
Yeah, he's like, I can't believe I had a son that's a giant pussy somewhere or whatever. You're a giant disappointment. And then he chokes him out.
This show loves to do that, where they'll definitely hit you up to that point where you think something like, because you know normal storytelling, they'll be like, okay, they've hit this point where they're changing their story arc to now for the better, and they will smack
Right.
you in your face every single time to make you be like, damn, nope, they don't get better.
Yep.
A lot of
Yep.
people don't get better in real life, so it kind of hits in a weird space.
Yeah, absolutely. And then I liked, as far as the fighting goes, I liked the fighting. I thought it was cool. And then
Yeah.
he gets put back in the box.
That's one of those issues with the show where it's like they didn't do anything. They introduced the character, he didn't kill him, and then he just
No.
went back home, and that was it.
I guess the only benefit is, well, not a benefit, but the only, I guess, one thing is now America seems to have him in a box.
Mhm.
So I could
not
I
great.
could definitely see next season. I know it's not the best. I could definitely see them next season, like a plot line being they're trying to create another Soldier Boy now that they have him. They're doing experiments. They're trying to pull
Mm.
out this thing. Maybe either something for good to combat Homelander, or let's be real, probably something really terrible like an army of super soldiers.
Oh fuck! I didn't even think about that. Oh no.
But yeah, so yeah, that was a thing where it's like everything kind of got reset at the end of this season. But I also didn't mind in the sense that I was glad that the good guys sort of won ish.
They won the
Like
battle, I suppose.
they won the battle, but yeah.
But now we're talking about that whole thing where like the ending part of it happens where it's like, now you got the alt right against you. So now you have the court of opinion on
Yeah.
Homelander's side, and that's a little scary. Of
Mm-hmm.
you can do all you want, but now you've got people that are against you that, normal or not, there's a lot of power in opinion in the world.
Right. Huey, he's got a toxic man problem we kind of mentioned earlier throughout this season where he's taking that temp V and he likes the power and he's got an issue with Starlight saving him. Get over your shit, Huey. Talk to a therapist. But I will say he did the right thing in the end. He didn't take the temp V and he powered Starlight up and he did the
Yeah.
right thing.
And that didn't help Starlight at all. She did nothing. She got maybe one drop of blood after
She got
doing all
one
that? That
good
was brutal.
blast, found out she can fly, which is cool. But also, I don't know how you're gonna fly on a regular basis if you need that much light. So
She can only fly in the Bahamas where it's like super sunny, no clouds. And anywhere else, she can't get anywhere else.
I
But
don't know. That's what I'm saying. Is like, is it electrical light? Is it the sun? Like, I don't. Whatever. I don't know.
great question. Who cares?
Who cares?
The
Yeah.
amount of times homegirl turned her eyes on for nothing, and then people just been like, "Shut those fucking eyes off." And she's like, "Okay, I'm sorry."
She was getting punked out this season every time. Homelander does it to her. The head popper does it to her. Like Maeve does it. Like everyone's like, "Shut up, girl."
Turn them goddamn eyes off, girl. You know, you just playing.
Yeah.
Shut up. They bitch made her after, which is so funny because the whole thing with Huey is talking about how much. I guess we can talk about them together since we're.
That's what I was literally gonna suggest. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of funny seeing that dynamic of him talking about how he feels so weird about being so useless. Where it's like, if you see most of her conversations, she's not really out here doing too much more than you are when it comes down to it. She's talking to a lot of people and then being bitch made just like you are.
Right.
Her eyes just glow sometimes.
I will say I did like her use of the Instagram live on Homelander though. I did really enjoy that.
I did not see that one coming, and I thought that was fucking hilarious. Where she definitely used social media against them.
She made a lot of big steps in terms of speaking her mind, and like she left Vault and she said, "Yeah, Homelander's a big giant piece of shit." I mean, she's what started this whole movement basically. So like she made some big steps in terms of standing up for herself compared to where she was in the first season. So yeah,
and that was an incredibly big risk to do that.
Oh.
Luckily, social media was on her side, or she would have gotten her shit pushed in. I'm sure, probably would have been murdered.
Yep.
But it's hard. Like you said, like a lot of things that come around Homelander's plot line is the fact that he cares a lot about approval of others. So that probably saved her life when it came to a lot of these things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Going back to Huey though, his inferiority complex definitely feels it's an allegory in some ways. I think to like the wife making more than the husband in the situation of like. Well, I feel like I don't do anything. I'm just here at home, just waiting for you, and you make all this money and do all these things. Which I'm sure she also makes a lot more money than he does as well. Even though he does have a cushy job on the board of whatever of fighting villains.
Yeah.
But that whole thing happening with that is like, oh yeah, I feel like I'm a little dick idiot because I can't do anything, and I just want to help you, so I'll do anything that means. And she's just like, shut up, dude. If I was sad about you being human and just normal, I wouldn't be dating you. So maybe go to therapy.
It's like
I'm sure it's covered in your insurance.
You're dating Wonder Woman and she actually loves you and likes you. Like that's a great like what what is your problem?
You should know that you obviously have enough to offer. Like I don't feel like there should be any because what else? You're not super. You don't have that amazing of a job.
I mean, I guess that goes into the complex is that, and they didn't really dive into this. It could have been interesting if maybe that was a thing that added to like. He doesn't feel not so much like he needs to save her, but maybe it's like, why is she into me? That would have been interesting to add to that. But
which I think they were kind of going for. But yeah, I think that it felt a little flat on that front.
Yeah,
there was never really a point where she needed saving.
Right? No, I mean he saves her from Herogasm with his teleportation naked powers, but other than that, that was about it.
And at that point, he was already like 5 V's deep and already had holes in his brain.
I don't know how how I like how it's like Huey's fine because he took one less temp V than Butcher.
So he has 2 years instead of 1 year. Gotcha. Dope. Awesome.
And then by the end, Starlet's a boy. She's one of the boys now. No, she's not a boy. She's one of the boys.
I was like, I don't remember this happening. Wait a second.
This is the post credits.
I mean, that'd be an interesting issue to touch on. We're gonna talk about some trans visibility.
Right?
Why not put it in this show? Fuck you.
Yeah. But yeah, so she's one of the boys, and it seems like Huey's over his Tempe stuff. I do wonder if they'll ever bring that back. It seems like no, though.
I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be the reason that he turns into because in the comics, I know we said we're gonna spoil anything in the comics. It's not really a spoiler. Homeboy's ugly and bald and weird looking in the comics. Maybe that Temp V is gonna eventually do like a kind of cancer situation on him.
Oh
where
no!
He just starts looking like a sloppy pizza delivering fuck.
Right.
That could be interesting. I don't think they'll do that to that actor. I think he likes being pretty the way that he is.
Himself. Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be an interesting storyline, though. They could do a bald cap. That's fine.
That would be. All right. Last couple of tertiary-ish characters. Kimiko and Frenchie are my faves. I love the two of them together. I'm glad none of them died. Highlights for Kimiko.
Kimi had a strong storyline, yeah. Kimiko had a real strong story.
She lost her powers, but before that dildo fight was amazing and fucking hilarious when she beats up all them Russians with a bunch of not just regular dildos, but like character specific dildos. A Homelander dildo, a Starlight. She kills them all with it. And it was fucking hilarious.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, they do make like alien dildos and all these other
Yeah.
like weird character things, which
Which I
whatever.
found fucking hilarious later on, where you see Ashley has a Homelander dildo.
Uh, I hate it, dude. I hate this show, but I love it so much.
Oh, it's
It's so
so funny.
stupid.
But yeah, Kimiko loses her powers. That was a big deal. And then she realized that it's okay to have her powers. Like she's a killer with or without her powers. So she's like, I might as well have them.
That was her big story arc, was her always hating what she was and the kind of monster that she thought she was. And then when she finally lost him, she was excited. She was like, I finally get to just be a normal person, live my life with Frenchie, my boy, love this guy. Then bad things happened. And she's like, I'm realizing that I can use this to help others. It's not
Right.
just about that I'm a monster that's a killer or anything like that. Like, I am helping my friends and the people that I love is important to me. Pretty standard trope, but it's interesting to see her go through it and actually like figure out that like, no, I can use this for good. And then she rips out someone's fucking brainstem or some shit. And it's like, oh, I guess that's using it for good. Sure.
Right. Her killing all those people in the finale to Maniac to the beat of the song was fucking amazing.
It gave me the same feelings that Stranger Things, Eddie,
Yeah.
Metallica thing. We're just like, I know we're about to get a cool fucking montage right here.
Right.
I love it. I was so hype about that.
Yeah, I love the two of them. I hope they never go away.
Yeah, Frenchie was a little worse for me in his storyline.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, once again, it's a character going through trauma. You were seeing a little bit more aspects of his old life where he had to deal with that lady. I don't
Nina?
remember her name.
Nina, I think.
Yeah, Nina, who had a weird
Little Nina.
sexual tension with every character that she walked in
Yep.
front of.
Yeah.
It made me super uncomfy. Yeah, it just kind of showed a little bit more of his old life and how he's always felt like he's had to take orders from someone else. He's never felt like his own person. So his
Right.
big story moment where he's talking about, getting a fucking dental plan and, we're making demands, we're unionizing, bitch.
Yeah.
That whole thing was just him like trying to take back portions of his life again. He just wants to be his own person again. Kimiko is kind of making him see that he has things that he enjoys outside of being, the best hacker, the best killer, all that kind of
Right.
stuff. So he
No,
had a
I
cool
like that.
storyline. I didn't like that he got back into drugs. That kind of pissed me off. but
Yeah, that was a bit.
I
Yeah.
also get it.
We'll see. Yeah. And then I guess I forgot one last thing. They have a random musical number in this show as well.
Mhm. They pulled a Grey's Anatomy, dude. They have a musical episode.
It was great. I loved it. It was nice to hear Kimiko speak, if that
Right.
is actually her. But it was either way. It was like, oh, this is so nice for her.
It was weird. They do a lot of weird stuff in this
They-
one. There's
yes.
cartoon characters in this. It's weird.
It is a pretty balls to the wall season. All right, let's quickly get through A Train, this dumb piece of shit.
Yeah, I want to talk about A Train and Black Noir. Those
Yeah.
are two
Yeah.
important character arcs that I feel like we got to talk about at least a little bit. A Train
God, he
fucking
sucks.
God, he fucking sucks. I really want this guy to die this season, even though he did something worth it, and his brother made me fucking so mad about that. So A Train's story is about him basically trying to pander to the black community for
He Wakanda's up
4
his suit.
episodes. He Wakanda'd his suit.
He looks like
He
a
did the
Power
fucking
Ranger.
Pepsi commercial like Kendall Jenner. That's what made me feel very Atlanta. That was a very Atlanta thing to do to remake that commercial. And
Yeah,
make fun
right.
of it.
That and his slave trade video game he wanted to make. Ashley's response to him was, "You want to make a video game about the slave trade?" He's so out of touch, dude.
But this show is so good about being like so painfully on the nose that it's like there's no way this could possibly happen. But it's like these things are 100% in talks in someone's boardroom. Like this isn't false.
Right.
Like, this is real shit that and that's what's so laughable about it. It's like, yeah, they're trying to. It's like The Onion, where The Onion's gotten to the point where it's not satire anymore. It's just the news because it's so like it was so off the wall 10 years ago, but now it's so like ingrained in what happens in our life that it's like, yeah, that would happen. Someone would 100% try to make a game about goddamn slave trade, and some white dude in a suit would be like, "Yes, let's put money on it." Like, oh yeah, dude, The Rock, do you want to be in it? It's like,
Right.
come on, man, like, what is it? Stop.
Ugh.
And his big storyline was kind of like coming to terms with some of the bad shit he did, because finally, some more bad shit happened to him. Because the storyline kind of has always been he's been the subordinate of Homelander for so long, of Vought for so long. He's lost his powers basically because he has art issues because he was abusing V. So he's been struggling with feeling inferiority complex with that. So he goes on his weird reunion tour as a black man doing black man things, and he brings what is it, Blue Hawk? Is that the character's name?
Yeah. The racist?
To his black community center, which his brother's a
Oh
part of,
god.
because
Yeah.
he was doing, once again on the nose about politics stuff. He was basically being the cop killer of black people. He was over policing the black neighborhoods, finding people doing petty crime, and then literally murdering them because, of course,
Mhm.
he's a superhero. So he's probably dragging their face across the pavement.
Right.
Really awful shit. So he wanted to kill him. Of course, A-Train's like, nah, fuck this idiot. We gonna fight. And then Ashley was like, no, we should do this in a better manner. Maybe
Right.
have him do a little speech, say an apology. We'll do it, wokeism, wokeonomics, basically.
Right.
Something we're also been very familiar with over the past couple of years. That's been happening where like you can just put out a statement of anything and that'll shut people up because they'll forget about it. Blue Hawk sucks. He sucks
Yeah.
really bad.
He sucks. Everyone sucks.
He just goes up there and he defends every single opinion he's ever had loudly in front of a bunch of black people.
And then he attacks them.
And then he attacks them because he thinks they're stupid and below him. Because of course, because he's a racist.
He's a racist soup. Yeah.
Haven't seen that one before.
Right.
Yeah, so he does that, and that's all super bad. And he throws and paralyzes A-Train's brother. I don't know if that's blood brother or like brother and like we went.
I
through the
think
same
it's his
shit.
real brother.
Is it? Yeah, they don't look alike, so I wasn't sure. That casting was whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't know. Whatever. What's the fourth level of character? He doesn't. He's a supporting character. A supporting character. He doesn't matter. Yeah, and that gets A-Train fucking pissed
because some bad shit happened to someone he cared about.
Yeah, finally, this guy that's been kind of
this murderer.
Yeah, he's held so much privilege throughout his life for so long that he finally got to like see, like, damn, this affects me directly.
Right.
He takes Blue Hawk's ass and drags him.
He Mortal Kombat fatalities his ass, dude. Holy shit!
And that was the only good thing this man has ever done in the show. Period. I don't think he's ever done anything else even worth talking about in the entirety of the show until that scene where he drags that man through the fucking pavement so fast that he rips his fucking half his body off.
That next thing happens is he gets his heart because he has a heart attack, and you think A-Train's dead. He gets Blue Hawk's heart, which I think is an incredibly ironic piece of storytelling where he has a racist man's heart now.
The irony is poetic, for sure.
And it made me wonder that now A-Train can run. Whose side is he going to be on in the future? Is he still going to be this D-bag Homelander like side man? Or is he going to help the good guys? I don't know.
I think he's going to be a Maeve situation where he's going to think that, like, nobody needs this shit. Like, Maeve got to the point where she was like, I don't even really want this shit anymore. No one needs to be super. It's only ruining everything. So I hope he's going to go that route if he goes any route. If not, he dies first episode of next season. Because his storyline is nothing at this point. He's just been stupid and lame and a bitch baby for 3 seasons now, and I'm so fucking tired of seeing him get on screen and then be a bitch baby in front of Homelander over and over again.
Like, yeah, there is a funny moment where with in the finale with him and Homelander where we'll talk about Noir real quick in a second. After Homelander kills him, and he tells everyone, and Homelander says to A-Train, how could you kill one of our own? When he's talking about killing Blue Hawk, he's like, how could you kill one of your own? And then A-Train just pans to A-Train, looks at Homelander's mask sitting right there, or Black Noir's mask sitting right next to Homelander. He's like, are you seriously? What? He had the best look on his face. I thought that was amazing. That's the one good thing A-Train's done, is that look on his face.
It's like, first of all, I'm not one of you. I'm a black man.
Right.
Second of all, you literally just killed one of our
yeah.
Come on, dude.
Like, I did like the scene where he finally apologizes to Huey at Herogasm. And Huey's caught off guard by that. He's genuinely caught off guard. And he's kind of pissed because he's like, I'm super. I kind of want to fight. I was not expecting you to apologize about that.
Listen, apology's not enough, bro. It's been too long, dude. You turned my girlfriend into mush. She is porridge because of you.
And she is not the only one. Like, you've killed probably a lot of people, A-Train. I don't know what happens with A-Train, but
kind of partly expecting him to just die.
Me too.
I knew they were going to try to keep it on for a little bit longer, but I didn't know they were just going to give him a fucking new heart and give him powers again, basically.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see. His storyline's running thin at this point, so I don't think he has much longer in the show before they have to do something with him. So maybe he'll sacrifice.
I kind of want him to do something interesting with him, so I want
to see him at least hit Homelander, man.
I want him to use his goddamn super speed, man.
I mean, that's probably going to be a big part that happens in the next season, is we're talking about alt-right, so we're going to be talking about a lot of racism. And a lot of these are going to be normal ass people. So he's probably going to be taking a lot of people and dragging them through the dirt next season. If he's able to. There's definitely going to be a trope on that about him being surrounded by people that don't like him.
Yeah.
And probably not saying nice things about him.
That'll be interesting. Interesting.
Hopefully, no. You think they would drop a hard R in this show? Think this is the kind of show that would do it?
I could see this being the show to do it, but they'll bleep it out.
Oh, interesting.
Like it'll be, yeah, you know what I mean? It'll be like that, or like it'll be within the show. So like someone's on the camp recording a live segment on TV.
Yeah.
So they'll
So
have
they
an
blank it
excuse
there.
as to why it's bleeped out. I could see them doing that.
That I can see that. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I wonder who would say the hard R.
We'll
Gonna be a
see.
Django and Chain situation.
Oh no. Oh. All right, let's quickly get to my probably biggest complaint storyline wise, Black Noir. I'm sad to see him go because they just started to make him interesting.
Yeah, they just started to develop his character just to kill him. Which that's a very Walking Dead-esque thing to do, where it's like as soon as a character gets an arc, that means they're gonna die. Yeah. Black Noir is fucking crazy because he got his brakes beaten off by Soldier Boy.
He's got half a brain, bro.
He's got half a fucking brain. He got beaten to mush by Soldier Boy.
Oh,
And that makes him see Looney Tunes character.
This show is wild.
I did not see that coming. That we're gonna have a Roger Rabbit situation.
Me either. But yeah, like him. I like that scene where he's like seeing the origin of it, and it cuts to just him staring at nothing. I was like, this is incredibly sad. And so seeing him go, I was like, I'm kind of bummed. I kind of wanted to see more of this character develop and see more stuff with it.
Because part of his character, which was kind of sad and annoying, is like we found out pretty early in the show that he was black, which that was interesting.
Yeah, and that's the whole reason why he has a mask. Because in the 40s, they can't have a black superhero, so they made him wear a mask. It's like, damn, that's fucked. Shit.
Right. But like also like, yes, I get it. 100% understood.
Right.
But then he never really had much story outside of that. He was always the very dark character that no one really knew or understood much about, which kind of made him interesting. So to finally have that story arc kind of open up to be like, oh, well, now we understand why he's the way that he is, why he doesn't fucking talk, all these other things. It was like, this is super cool. I want to see more of what they would do with that. And then also, we know, like, not to spoil anything from the comic, some things happen in the comic about that character specifically. There's a drastic change in what happens between the comic and here. And we're never going to actually see any of that.
Right, so spoilers, let's just talk really quick about that. So spoilers for the comic. This is very brief. Check the time code. Skip ahead. And we will not bring this up anymore. In the comic, Black Noir turns out to be a clone of Homelander. There's a big reveal that Homelander wasn't actually the one doing all the terrible shit that you see. It's actually Black Noir pretending to be Homelander because he's his clone.
Which that changes the story completely, does it not?
Yes.
Like, that's a completely different story that they're telling.
Right, because obviously they can't do that because we've seen Homelander and Noir, and Homelander does the bad shit, you know what I mean? And also Homelander's a white guy. Yeah, so like, and I could see it because maybe like they just couldn't find a way to do it, and especially with, having them in the same room and yada yada yada. And
it's 2022. We can do that shit pretty easily now.
It's
We
true.
literally just did it with Moon Knight, 3 months ago?
True.
Come on.
But I've
Grow
also
up.
like, as far as I've heard, that like this is it's so different from the book, but a lot of people like this adaptation more than that book. So
That's surprising.
well, I trust them. If they thought it couldn't work and they're doing something else, who knows? But also, this is confirmed. I think that the creator said Black Noir will be back in the way that Vought said that there will just be someone else in the mask, like Vaught's trying to cover up his death type of thing. So
shit.
they
That
could
could
still come
change.
around and do this.
Yeah, that's
Who
really
knows?
interesting. I wonder what they're gonna do with that. Yeah, they're just gonna keep replacing. I mean, it's basically the Captain America situation where they just want to replace with another white guy that looks about the same.
Right. Yeah. So there is a chance that maybe they do surprise us and put it in there, but I don't know.
It's gonna be Blue Hawk.
Oh no. All right. End of spoilers. You can come back now. But yeah. So I mean, Noir's gone. We'll see. We'll see. Who knows?
He punched him through the stomach, the heart,
He-
which we all saw coming.
He Mortal Kombat fatality'd him. Now.
Yes, the fucking intestines came out and everything. This show is grotesque.
Yes.
That is one thing they do well. I don't know if I want to call it well.
I guess so.
They do it
Yeah.
more than other things do.
Yeah. Speaking of a grotesque, let's go through these kind of grotesque moments that were hilarious. Let's talk about the Ant-Man dick hole.
The very first episode,
It happened.
they said that the creator said they did it solely because of the Thanos what if
Oh,
situation.
really? That's fucking funny.
They said they did it because that was a thing that was highly contested on TV and on like Twitter and stuff about like
Right.
why couldn't Ant-Man just go in at Thanos' butthole and blow him up? They did the same
Right.
thing, but with a penis hole.
It was
Yeah,
gross.
it was like a weird sounding situation.
Yep.
Don't look that up online if you don't know what sounding is.
Don't Google it.
I love you guys. I don't want to put you through that. And holy shit. That's when I was like, this show is about being as ridiculous as possible. And that is
Basically.
that's his big stick for sure.
That happened. I loved watching brief talk about the Deep. I love watching Homelander make him force feed his friend Timothy, the octopus or whatever.
He
That was
ate
fucking hilarious.
his friend that he fucked, dude. He ate his lover. He had to eat his fucking lover. I forgot we didn't talk about the Deep at all. The Deep has only been here to be in a weird cult and then also have sex with fish. You fucking weirdo, dude. I hate this guy.
He tried to make some hentai shit with his wife. Try to get his wife to fucking octopus.
He was trying to introduce his wife to fucking a poly relationship with a goddamn octopus. What is wrong with you, dude? And the sad part is she was almost into it. She was almost like,
that moment that squid's arm hit her thigh, though, she said, nope, I can't do it. I can't do it.
Because gross. I'm pretty sure the butthole and the mouth hole of an octopus is the same hole, first of all. So that has a whole lot of weird ramifications there that I don't even want to think about.
Oh yeah, so the Deep's a fucking some fish, which is pretty.
That's
fucking
really
hilarious.
his storyline is also being a bitch baby, exactly like A-Train, but grosser,
and yeah, somehow even more on Homelander's dick. You know, like yeah, God. And yeah, I'm glad she left him, even though she's also not a great person either. She was just using him to get her power shit. Right. So they're both bad people.
Hillary Clinton thing going on there.
But I'm glad that she also escaped. Because he's also a horrible person and a rapist. So
I want him to die next season. That is.
See, I'm on the mindset that I kind of want him to live forever as a total punk bitch to everyone. Like forever being humiliated like a bitch.
I want to at least see him get his shit pushed in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
He needs to be humbled of some sort.
I want Starlight to kick his ass.
Yes, Starlight specifically would be great.
Though there is a great line. I think it's Homelander. I don't know who he says it to. Either Deep, A-Train, or Ashley. And he says, "Is your idiot brain getting fucked by stupid?" That's a phenomenal line.
And then everyone's just sitting in silence, and he's like, "That's not rhetorical.
That's not rhetorical." Like that is just a phenomenal line. I just needed to write that down and say that. I could not mention it. Oh, Herogasm real quick. Not as gross as I thought it was going to be.
They had a whole little thing, like a warning in the beginning of like no one should watch this, and I thought I was going to see some shit that was going to scar. Like we grow up in the early ages of the internet where it really got popping, where videos were popping up, where like you would watch a live leak video and see the worst shit you've ever seen before in your life. You're seeing someone getting murdered at 10 years old, and you're just like, yep, this is the internet. I'm used to this. So like maybe that's my fucked up brain where I was just like, I expect to see something that's about to change the trajectory of my life forever. There's some people having sex.
Yeah.
I mean,
there was one guy whose dick was on fire, his dick's on fire, which it's pretty horrible that they abuse these sex workers. That sucks. But I didn't see anything like
nothing I haven't seen before.
Nothing. No. Yeah, but nothing beat the dick hole. But so yeah.
Mother's Milk did get
he got a bath.
On.
He got a bath. That was
he got
rough.
nutted on, and that man I think has some OCD. So that was
took
really rough
a big
for him.
L. Oh, poor Mother's Milk. He beats the shit out of Todd, which is nice. Or he just punches him. Todd
we didn't really
sucks.
talk about his character either. Is he struggles with his daughter? That was kind of rough.
He doesn't do much. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that he was taking what he was doing a lot harder than I think he should have. I think he was trying to protect his daughter, and it was a little bit rough. It's hard to deal with that. His ex-wife. What kind of fucking downgrade was that, girl? How the fuck do you go from Mother's Milk to this goddamn idiot Todd? I know you want to get safe. Like, I get it.
Something happened because she was dating the blackest man. He wears a different hip hop shirt every day.
Got Black Panther shit all up in his house.
To Todd, the most white bread.
Todd Hatchford. Man looks like he does data entry at the lamest fucking IT corporation you ever looked at before in your life.
Yeah, that was a
safety choice.
That's rough.
Safety choice. She knew she just wanted someone that had a good 401k and a decent insurance plan. We're gonna go there. That's all it takes.
It's pretty rough. And the last character that we mentioned, because they also didn't do much, Maeve. I'm happy she got a happy ending. That's great. Great to see. I hope it stays that way though.
Right.
I fear for her.
She was going to die. As soon as her storyline ran out, I was like, well, that's the end of Maeve. Good night, God bless. And they kind of played with that. They did it where they thought she was going to die with Soldier Boy. She didn't. She gets to live a normal life with her wife.
It's great.
We love it. Gay love.
Everyone thinks she's dead, so hopefully she's safe, yeah.
Right. I hope you go somewhere where no one knows you.
Right. But that's about it. And then Head Popper's gonna be vice president, so they're gonna have to deal with her next season.
Oh
Let's go.
shit! You think they're making fun of Kamala Harris? Is that kind of that situation?
I don't
Why,
know.
Vice president was an interesting choice. I get it because you already have someone that's polling pretty well, and you're
Also,
gonna
she can
try to
just
run
kill
on
him
that.
if they
Right.
win.
And that's what
So
I figure is going to happen. She's going to kill him once he becomes president. But I assume
yeah.
it was a polling thing where he was already polling well, probably with the alt right, because that's what they're playing on that kind of
Right,
aspect.
right.
She's going to kill him, become president, and I don't know what's going to happen from there. But yeah,
I
I
know.
think she is incredibly pretty.
Oh yeah.
So whenever
Yes,
she shows up on
absolutely.
screen, even though she's a terrible person, I just want to
Yeah,
see more of her.
she's a murderer.
Yeah,
So,
she is
but
an
yeah,
awful human being and shouldn't exist, but I like seeing
I
her.
do wonder if next season is there maybe sideline Homelander a bit and focus more on her, but I can't see them exactly sidelining Homelander. So who knows?
Not after what he did. I think it's going to be a
No,
very big
no.
portion. It's definitely going to be running concurrently where he's going to be side by side with her,
I
probably.
thought had this happened, and I know we're running long, so apologize.
Barely,
Apologies,
barely.
not I wasn't telling you to apologize.
Apologize right now.
Apologize, Brian. I thought it would have been very interesting if at the end of this show, Soldier Boy does in fact succeed in taking away Homelander's powers. He doesn't kill him, but I thought it would have been very interesting in season 4. It's a Homelander without his powers having to fake the world that he is still the powerful Homelander, and
And
he could become president with her as VP.
which the way the storyline's been going, it would have made sense for him to be president.
Yes, and it still can, but I thought,
Yeah.
yeah, so I thought that would have been interesting. Yeah, I think those are all pretty much my notes. I know we missed stuff, but this season was fucking packed, dude.
There was a
Fucking
lot of stuff
packed.
happening this season for 8
Holy
episodes.
shit.
I'm really surprised that they did as much they did. They did so
Yeah,
much, but so little at the same time.
I know. But yeah, that's The Boys season 3. I'm loving the show. I guess the next thing isn't actually season 4 of The Boys. We know they are doing this. Is it a prequel or just kind of some spin-off series, which
Spinoff
is
series,
about
yeah.
college soups and surviving college, which I would imagine gonna be a bunch of drunk assholes again.
Right. Which they claim there's gonna be some cameos and some lesser characters in that show, maybe not any of the main cast.
Hmm.
I couldn't care either way. But it's interesting to see more of that. Sure.
I'm not super
I don't have an
excited,
opinion. You're right.
but if I hear it's like really good and I do like it's an interesting world that so we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll watch it regardless, whether or not it has good ratings or not, just because it's part of the universe at this point. But I don't expect
Right.
much
Yeah.
from it. It feels a little cash grabby from my point of view, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah.
Who
We'll
knows
see.
what'll happen?
All right. Brian, that's our main topic. Shall we move on to our final segment of the week?
You made it sound so sad that it's just me.
I miss Devin.
Oh
No, just kidding, man. All right, well, let's move on. Which we like to call free for all, title pending. This is a segment, listeners, where we can kind of do whatever we want. We can, talk about our day, recommend something, take a nap. I don't know, argue, banter, whatever. It's free for all, And I can go first, actually. I'll take the lead on this one. This is a free for all. I've bagged for a little while now. I finished a month ago or whatever the second season of Superman and Lois. So I'm gonna talk about Superman and Lois for a little bit because
Oh God.
it's a great fucking show.
Is that a CW show?
It is, but I mean,
Oh my
yes.
gosh. I didn't know they were still
I don't
making
tell
CW
anyone that
shows.
because then everyone already has an idea of what it
Yep.
is.
You're absolutely right. I instantly like scrunched my nose like, CW, huh?
But I will say it is one of the best in the sense that it doesn't really look like a CW show for the most part because they don't film in Vancouver like all of the other ones do. They film outside in a different city, and they put a nice like filter over it. It's in widescreen, so it doesn't look. It's not like if you were to put it on, you wouldn't kind of think of it as a TV show because it doesn't fill your whole screen. It looks like a movie.
Oh, it's got the little black bars at the bottom and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Oh,
It's
interesting.
16 by 9 or whatever.
That's
Yeah.
really weird.
So they went for a very cinematic feel with it, and I think it works because again, it doesn't look like a CW show for the most part. There are some times where you can see like, okay, their budget is a TV show budget still. So, but for the most part, I fucking love this show. I talked a lot about season 1 is probably better than season 2 in my opinion, and I think most people probably think that. It's just a little tighter, and the villain's a little better. But season 2 I think is still great and some of the best stuff. And the reason I love this show is it's because it's Superman being a dad. It's Superman and Lois's struggle of raising two boys, two sons. And I don't want to spoil anything about any of the character stuff, but I just love them dealing with modern day struggles of raising children and mental health and talking to your kids. And it's trying to show like how different like the boomer era of raising kids is to like now where it's like, you got to talk to your kids.
Yeah, we used to hit them bitches. Superman
Yeah.
just knocks you across the
He
house
sends you to
because
the
you didn't clean
moon.
your room.
Your timeout's on Jupiter. I'll come back in. I'll come back in 2 hours. But yeah,
Damn.
no, I love it. I love seeing the family dynamic and yeah, it's just a really great show about parenting. Surprisingly enough, and like the Superman stuff in itself is also really fun and really good to see. And you're there for that as well. But it's a lot of the quieter moments that I really enjoy watching in this show. Um,
Yeah.
and yeah, I think oh, what's it? Tyler Hoechlin is a great Superman. I think his hair needs to be a little longer, but that's just me. I also love mullet Superman, so grain of salt.
We want
Um,
to see it. Come on, guys.
give me mullet Superman, damn it. But yeah, no, I fucking adore the show, and I'm it's already been renewed for season 3. I'm a
Nice.
little sketchy and scary that it's gonna also one of those shows that maybe overstays its welcome because it's a fucking network TV show, so they'll try to
Uh-huh.
milk it for everything it's got.
For the next 20 years, there's gonna be a reunion tour. It's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
but
Sounds like it's great. Sounds like it's one of the better things CW has put out, which is
oh yeah, hands
interesting. But
down,
that's also another fearful thing on why they might milk it because it's doing well.
right. It is a
A la
weird thing where
Stranger
it's like
Things.
for some reason they just can't get Superman done on the big screen, but they nail him on TV for some reason. I don't know what it
What
is.
else? There's something else that we do like that I feel like a whole lot. Where the movie's never as good. I guess a lot of DC properties, to be honest. Uh, yeah, so
Yeah.
that's. I mean, at least they're getting it right somewhere. I thought Man of Steel had potential. I
I
wish they
I I
kept
love
going with
Man of
some more
Steel.
solo Superman movies, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, they decided to go straight to Justice League real quick,
Yeah.
and that was a mistake. So,
There's
what's
a
his face
lot
couldn't
of
get any real good time to
yeah.
develop his character. I
I'm
feel like.
still hoping that he's the Superman of the future. I think he's a good Superman. I
I
I
think
would
he
love to
should
see him
be.
more.
Yeah, but I think they're scared to like reboot if they do anything like that.
Yeah. I don't want him to reboot. God damn it, I'm sick of reboots, bro. They're already gonna have to reboot the Flash again.
Oh god, that movie's
Jesus.
never coming out. We're fucked.
No. But yeah.
Nice, awesome. I can go next. I also watched a TV series. This is a very new TV series. Actually, just came out Friday of last week. As we're recording this episode, it
Oh
was
shit.
Resident Evil
Oh
on
my god, you
Netflix.
watched this?
I watched the entire thing. I was gonna watch
How
it
many
no matter
episodes
what.
was it?
It is 8 episodes, I believe.
Oh, okay.
So not a super
Okay.
long one. They're about an hour episode each. So pretty standard television of the right now.
Right.
Um, Resident Evil follows Jade and Billy Wesker. You may remember that last name because it's actually the last name
Oh.
of Father Albert Wesker, who is known to be a very important antagonist in the Resident Evil series.
Wait, did you just say father?
Father.
Oh.
Father.
Oh, so
Albert
this
Wesker is a father
oh.
and has 2 kids. And
Oh.
that already has you asking questions, right? Because you're like, I don't remember this man having no kid. What the fuck's going on here? That's pretty weird. Don't worry, they talk about it in the show. And it's basically following Jade Wesker specifically, and it goes between two timelines of 2022 and then 2036. Between like the time of like the second outbreak. This is New Raccoon City at this point. There's the second outbreak of the T virus, all the zombies and stuff. And it follows her because she's like a scientist that tries to figure out more information about how the virus
New Raccoon
spreads.
City sounds like a rap group.
Doesn't it? It sounds fucking dope, right? And it's the
Yeah.
most generic city you ever seen before in your life, which is so stupid. But it sounds so cool. But yeah, it follows her life of basically, living on the edge, trying to run away, pretty zombie Walking Dead, apocalypse looking stuff, trying to figure out why the zombies are getting stronger, getting better, getting smarter, what's happening there. She goes through that whole thing. And then it also goes back to the before times of 2022. She's with her sister and her dad, who, speaking of Netflix's weird casting choices, it's randomly a black man. Albert Wesker, it's a black dude.
Oh, is Wesker the dude that dude with the voice? He's
Yeah,
in a lot of
yep.
stuff, but no one knows his
Uh-huh.
name. Okay.
He's that black guy.
He's great. He's in so much
No,
stuff.
he's really great. He does a really good job too. Why can't I find? I don't even have his name listed on here. Come on, guys.
Look up he's in John Wick. Look up John Wick, maybe.
Is he really a John Wick?
Yeah, he's the dude at the front desk.
Lance Reddick.
Yeah, there we
Yeah,
go.
Lance Reddick's fucking dope. He has that cool black man voice.
Yeah.
He does a very good job. I mean, he's good at what he does.
Oh, he's Wesker. Okay.
Yeah, he's Wesker. Goes back and forth. Before time is basically showing 2022, the lead up to the virus, where it gets exposed, how things kind of happen. So it's like normal school life stuff, or his kids are young. He's doing his little thing. This show sucks. this show sucks really bad. And there's a lot of controversy around it. It's already renewed for season 2, it's sounding like.
You bobbed and you weaved throughout that whole intro to the show.
This show sucks, dude. And I'm trying to figure out what parts of it make
Oh,
it suck for me,
no.
because I'm not a huge Resident Evil fan. So I
Right.
honestly, if it was to any demographic, it'd be to me. I've only beaten Resident Evil 8, and I've only played like 1 and 2 as a kid. Like, I'm not a huge Resident Evil fan. I kind of know the base of the story. I know it's really campy. It's pretty anime. So I'd probably like it if I wasn't such a scared bitch baby to play the video games. So I came in this not expecting much. And holy shit, was there not much to be expected.
Oh,
This
no.
show basically came out on the pretense that it's supposed to be pretty faithful to the video games. It's currently like the lowest rated Netflix property audience score wise on Rotten Tomatoes ever. And people are trying to figure out why that is, if it's a review mobbing or not. Because critic score is like 53%, something like that. Like pretty low, but not crazy. And I kind of feel around the same space that they do. I'd probably give it about a 4 out of 10. Like, it's bad. But I wasn't mad by the end that I did finish it at the beginning.
Okay.
So the beginning of the show is really fucking boring. Like, the first 2 or 3 episodes are really fucking boring.
The beginning of the show is the first 3 episodes.
I mean, yeah, the show basically happens in 3 parts in a very weird way. And it's really hard to explain without watching it. But there's like 3 sections of this show. So there's the Degrassi portion, where it's basically just 13 Reasons Why season 6. And that's all the stuff in 2022, where it's these 2 girls going through school, trying to figure out, social life and whatever, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, the 2 sisters doing all of that. Because, they're 2 sisters, and they're sisters of Albert Wesker. He's pretty famous of being a virologist in Umbrella Academy. So that comes with its own, set of issues and things they have to navigate around. That's probably the best part of the show, is the Degrassi portion. If Netflix is good at one thing, it is some teenage lives doing some lame ass shit. They've got that nailed down with 13 Reasons Why, with Degrassi reboot, all that. They're just good at having some kid drama.
Right.
Then there's the generic zombie portion. And that is the really boring
Yeah, I
part
just
of the
realized
show.
you've gone this far without talking about a single zombie, so.
Because that's the worst part of the show. The zombie portion is so fucking lame.
Oh, no.
Just because it's so generic. It's just so generic. Monster movie, the tropes. The writing in the show is really bad. I think that's the biggest culprit of the entire show. Some of this writing is just so haphazardly awful, to the point where there's almost a point in like episode 5 where it's like, okay, this shit is looking up. Like, I see this going. Right. And then they just punch you in the face, which is like, no, that's not happening. You dumb idiot. We're not going to make this an interesting show. This shit's about to suck.
Oh, no.
And it was gut wrenching, because I was actually starting to have fun with the show.
Right.
Then after that, it takes a really weird space where it goes full Resident Evil wacko stupid.
Oh,
it just
does?
Gets so fucking dumb. But it's like not good dumb. It's a bad and annoying dumb. And I'm not sure if they do it on purpose to be dumb, because it almost feels like it's making fun of itself. But I'm not sure if this show is smart enough to do something like that. And that's what kind of bothers
Resident
me
Evil,
most about
I feel like, is pretty notorious for being like pretty dumb at times,
Exactly.
but like on purpose.
I remember the infamous Dreamcast game shootout scene that happens, the cut scene where they're shooting directly in front of each other, a la Matrix, where they're literally shooting like point blank. Everyone's missing. They're reloading, shooting again. Everyone's missing. They're reloading. And they're supposed to be like 2 of the best cops on Earth, and they're both missing each other. It's like that kind of shit, where it's just so dumb.
Yeah.
This show is so fucking stupid.
Oh, no.
And then at the end, it's still just bad. It's just
That
bad.
sucks.
Most people have probably come across at least some Twitter or some kind of things that are kind of memes right now about some of the scenes that happen, because they're so bad. And not all of them are supposed to be funny. And I think that's the worst part about it. Did I enjoy watching the show? I don't know. I'm not mad that I did. I am mad that I watched the first 3 episodes. If I skipped to maybe episode 5, I probably would have felt a little bit better. It was mindless stuff to watch in the background. Would I recommend it to anybody? Absolutely not. Especially if you love Resident Evil.
Does it leave it off for like a season 2 potentially?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, okay.
And it
Do you
sounds
think
like
it'll
they're going
get a
to.
season 2?
Yeah, they're talking about how they want to introduce another named character from the show.
Oh, okay.
And they do touch some video game adaptation stuff, but it's very loose. It's very Halo level, where it's like, we made this random show and then sprinkled a couple names that you know to make you feel like you know the characters. You don't. They're not the characters you think they are. They only do one real plot point that has anything to do with the video game at all, and it wasn't interesting. It was stupid. They use it as more of a gag more than anything, and that was unfortunate.
Oh, no.
And once again, Netflix just shouldn't do this stuff.
I
They're
don't.
not
I
good.
don't know why Netflix has been going so hard on the Resident Evil property. Because I was just looking up. I was like, didn't they just release like a new Resident Evil movie? Was that a Netflix movie or was that just a movie that just happened to be on Netflix?
I think that was just a movie that happened to be on Netflix. I don't think,
Oh,
because I think
okay.
they actually might have come out in theaters. I can't 100% remember. I didn't watch it.
Okay,
I
I
have
didn't
no
watch it
interest in
either
it.
because I also heard that was also bad.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. All the Resident Evil movies have been
Why
pretty
is
bad.
this
So
Resident Evil property so hot right now?
I mean, I guess 8 did really well, so at least that's something. But that's the thing too. Is there's some interesting stories to tell? Like Resident Evil 7 and 8 story is pretty cool. I would love
Right?
to see that on
Yeah.
the big screen. You don't have to do it, but it's just I don't know why they go. If you're gonna go so hard away from the normal property, I don't understand why you would use any characters from the property, or if they do, don't have them be the main part. You know what I mean? Like it's fine to have cameos and stuff. That's pretty cool. I like that kind of stuff. But it doesn't have to be shot for shot the same as the video game.
Mm.
But also don't do this half-ass shit because they just ruin characters that are like beloved by people. Albert Wesker's like a pretty important. I know he's an important character. I don't know why they did that. I don't know why that was a choice that was
Yeah.
made to rewrite history and retcon some shit and all this other stuff.
I mean, I guess it's just the fear of living up to an actual adaptation, where it's like let's
Mhm.
just similar to like Halo, where it's like let's just do our own thing. That way they won't compare as much if we fuck up by
But
doing the
that was the
exact
thing.
story.
Is if you did your own thing and didn't use Master Chief, that would have been a completely different show reception wise. I think, at least
That's
for
true,
the
but if I
audience.
was if you're pitching me, we're gonna do a Halo show, and I say, okay, what's Master Chief gonna do? Oh, he's not in it. I was like, why are you doing a Halo show then? You know what I mean? So there is that
That's
tiny
fair.
element of
But
both.
that's one of those things where it's like you got to start listening to the community and stop listening to the people at the top because I think that they know better what they want than you know what I mean. Because I think
Yeah.
the first thing we said when we were talking about the Halo show was like show the least amount of Master Chief possible.
Right.
Me and Devin both kind of agreed for that.
Yeah, I think that comes with a bit of a double-edged sword in the sense that listening to the community could also be detriment because
Sure,
the communities are terrible people a lot of the
this is
time.
also true.
But also, like Sonic, that worked out in its favor somehow of making that new Sonic. So it's like
Right.
it's
No, you're
it
right.
can
I mean,
it
because
can
like you
either
said, especially people that only know like Halo because they're like Halo adjacent, maybe. So like, oh, there is Halo Man gonna be in there? That's why I want to see Halo Man, the guy in the green.
right,
And it's
right,
like,
right.
I mean, sure. So it's like that will get people to watch because they know that guy. They go, oh yeah, that's the one. I know that one.
Yeah,
He's on the front of Xbox. It's like okay,
yeah.
that's fair.
That's funny though. I was just reading up while you were talking about how this is somehow still the highest rated live action Resident Evil anything, which is like, damn.
They really put that as if it was a flex, and I was like, you're literally going in. It's basically like, yeah, you played high school basketball, you suck, but you're playing against elementary school kids. So it's like, yeah,
Right.
you're 6 feet. They're 4'1".
It's like
Of course
Adam Sandler and that what's that Billy Madison, who's got to go back to grade school and he's like schooling all the kids in gym class.
Right. It's like the net is 8 feet, bro. Like, of course you're beating them.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I saw commercials and I was just like, I'm not super interested, or I'm not even really attached to the Resident Evil franchise. And this one just kind of did, like you said, look a little generic. But and then I heard it was like kind of middling, and I was like, I got other shit I'd rather watch.
The ending is awful. The ending is
Oh
probably
no.
some of the worst shit that happens. But no
Ugh.
spoilers if people want to watch that show.
We'll see if that gets a season 2. We'll find out.
Yeah,
Netflix might can it. Who knows?
they should.
Alrighty, everyone. That means that this is the end of our show. You can email us at thefortress@gmail.com, Fortress spelled FOUR. Feel free to email us any questions or feedback or recommendations or anything you have about the show or just want to say hi. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the Fortress of, and the Fortress of YouTube channel as well, which is now uploading the full length videos. So in case if you're one of those people that likes to listen to a podcast on YouTube, it's there. I don't know why you would,
Boom.
but go for it.
Our faces are not there. Sorry.
No,
I'm not
sorry.
seeing these ugly mugs.
Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your grandma, tell your cat. Rate and review us, preferably 5 stars on anything that you listen to. Thank you, Brian, for the art. Thank you, Alex, for the music. Devin, thank you for being here as usual. Crickets. And Jackie, thank you for helping edit the podcast every week. You can find Brian on Instagram, at least, at ITZ_ by the way. And Alex, you can find him at Peterson Films. Peterson spelled S-E-N. Get it right. And Devin, you can find him. Man, if you can find Devin, let us know.
What's that Carmen Sandiego show? That's basically Devin. Where in the world is Carmen
Devin's
Sandiego?
life. Where
Yeah.
in the world is Devin San Diego? Oh man. Next week, it's either probably gonna be either Miss Marvel, or unless Marvel drops a bombshell of Comic-Con stuff, it might be Comic-Con. We'll find out.
Have we hit cut, or is this cut right here?
No, this is part of the show.
We're telling people what we're doing.
I'm letting the listeners know what they could look forward to, Brian. I'm trying something new.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Just in case. Who knows? Happy holidays, everyone. And put a code on. It's code out there.
No, I'm roasting my balls off right now.
Yeah.
Anywho,
All right. We'll see you next week in another episode of The Fourtress of